Hello guys, I am Professor Bibin Thomas, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Science and Humanities, MBC College of Engineering and Technology, Bibin. For us Indians, English is one of the most important languages that we use in our daily conversations. Irrespective of a person's mother tongue, English becomes a common medium of communication for almost everyone in India and across the world. We learn English right from our childhood. We learn the alphabets, we learn the words, we learn sentences, we learn grammar, and yet even after a continuous study of more than 12 to 13 or 15 years, we still are afraid of this language. We are afraid to use this language when it comes to speaking with a native speaker of English. Even after knowing all the grammar, all the sentence structures, there are times when we talk to a native speaker, we usually say that I don't understand what he is saying. Or while watching a news in maybe BBC or CNN IBN, we say that I don't understand anything. Even after learning English for such a long time, we as learners of this language, we face difficulty in understanding the language when we hear it from the native speakers. Now what is the problem? The problem lies with the fact that even though we learn the alphabets, we learn the words, we learn grammar, we learn the sentence structures, we fail to learn the very basis of any language, that is pronunciation. That how should we be using the language, how we should be pronouncing it. That is the only reason why when we are in company of a native speaker of English, we don't understand what the other person is saying. This difficulty becomes more pronounced when it comes to a language like English. Why? The simple reason being the fact that English, in comparison to any other language, for example like Malayalam or Hindi, is an unphonetic language. It means that we don't speak the language or a word in the same way as it is written. Now let's see certain examples to understand how this happens. For example, here we are having a word, a very common word, D-E-B-T. That is a word structure. We usually pronounce it as debt with a B. Another word we are having, another common word is T-O-M-B. Usually we are having variety of pronunciation, but a common form of pronouncing this word is Tom. Or we are having another word like W-R-I-T-E. We pronounce it as right, but where is this W going? Or another word like H-O-N-E-S-T. Some of us pronounce it correctly, some still pronounce it as honest with an H. So these are all some of the examples to show that English is an unphonetic language where if we go on pronouncing a particular word in its actual way, how it is written, we are going to pronounce it wrongly. Now, if we go for the actual pronunciation of these words, D-E-B-T is not debt, but it is debt. The B is silent. Or with regard to the word T-O-M-B, it's not Tom, it's only tomb. The B at the last is silent. Or with regard to W-R-I-T-E, the W is silent, we start pronouncing it only from the R. With regard to honest, as some of you might know, it is not honest, but the H is silent here, we pronounce it as only as honest. So these all examples bring us to the topic of the day, which is called phonetics. Phonetics is the scientific study of pronunciation. And for a speaker or a learner of English, this should be the first basis of learning the language. Now coming to the importance of phonetics, let's see some of the basic ideas which are part of this and why studying phonetics is necessary. Now we all have learned right from our childhood that English has 26 alphabets. All our words that we use in our day-to-day life in the language are formed from these 26 alphabets. We use it, we connect it, we merge it, we sometimes disregard certain alphabets, and in that way we form words. But the problem is that with this 26 alphabets, even though we form words, but when it comes to the pronunciation of these words, these 26 alphabets are insufficient. Now, if you look here, you will find that for this 26 alphabets, interestingly in English, we have 44 sounds. Now you see the difficulty, right? So 26 alphabets could be pronounced in 44 ways. Now these 44 sounds can even further get divided into vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Now in English, even though when we look with regard to the alphabets, we have only 5 vowel alphabets, right? 5 vowel alphabets, A, E, I, O, U. But when it comes to its sounds, with regard to vowel sounds, for these 5 vowels, we have a total of 20 vowel sounds. Now these vowel sounds can be further divided into 12 pure vowel sounds and 8 vowel combinations known as diphthongs. With regard to our consonant sounds, we have in English 24 consonant sounds. Now, with our just basic knowledge of English to be consisting of 26 alphabets, we face this difficulty of not understanding a native speaker, because in our education system at times we forget to give consideration to these 44 sounds, and these 44 sounds become the most important ingredient when it comes to learning the language and speaking the English language in a proper way. So whenever you use a dictionary, from now on you should take care to look into the phonetic structure of that particular word too. You will find lot many sounds and their symbols in the dictionaries, and you should start practicing them on a day-to-day basis so that you can actually improve your language. The importance of learning phonetics become of prime necessity, because it is a sound of a particular word that even to a great extent determines its meaning. For example, here I have 2 words, L-A-M-P and L-A-M-B. 2 different words having 2 different meanings, but in some way or the other they are sounding alike. There is a similarity in that sounds. But the only difference between these 2 words while we are actually speaking it out can be understood only after knowing how these sounds are pronounced. For example, L-A-M-P is lamp with a p sound, but L-A-M-B is only lamb. There is no b sound. But if you are saying lamb, there can be a confusion for a person who knows its actual pronunciation, whether you are talking about L-A-M-P lamp, or are you trying to speak about L-A-M-B lamb, which means the child or an offspring of a sheep. Another example, you will find B-R-E-A-T-H-E and another similar word B-R-E-A-T-H. One is a noun, one is a verb. But how do we find these? Which one is the right one? This also happens with the pronunciation. That is B-R-E-A-T-H-E, which is actually the verb form of the process of breathing. It has its pronunciation as breathe. But the noun form, that is B-R-E-A-T-H, which means the breath, it has a pronunciation of breath. So one is breathe, that is a verb form, the other one is breath, that is a noun form. So with regard to the parts of speech of particular words also get confused when you actually don't know the actual pronunciation of the word. So again we come back to this idea of phonetics, the study of sounds. So it is very necessary that students and any other speakers or learners of the English language should start their study of this language right from its pronunciation, because it is a pronunciation which determines how a word should sound and also to a great extent the meaning of the word. Hope that you all will be starting to take this topic a bit more seriously, and from next time onward when you will be using dictionaries, rather than just going after the meaning, you will also spend some time to understand how a particular word is pronounced, and in that way avoid missounding or mispronouncing very common words. So here are the 44 sounds of English language, the 20 vowel sounds which are again subdivided as we said earlier into 12 pure vowel sounds and 8 diphthongs or vowel combinations. And next here we have the 24 consonant sounds. So as we have seen, these are the 44 sounds that make the sound system of the English language. Hope this video was useful for you. Happy learning and thank you.